Yo. Hello. Hello, hello. Polly Socks. Julian, yo. Yo. Is it Jolene? Jolen? Bray, what's up, dude? Howdy, gamers. Oh. Hello. All right, let me get the work up here. Caught the bug to jump back into Unreal. Oh, really? Very good, very good. Alvin, what's up, dude? Yo. Yo. Jay Lee, what's up, dude? Hello, hello, Puya. Unemployment makes you crazy? I did not know that you were unemployed. Why did I not know that? Man, a lot of people getting hit with that stuff, dude. Hope you're doing all right. You've been doing a lot of math in Unreal, and the transition from math textbook to implementation always fries my brain a bit. A couple weeks ago. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. You'll be okay. It's just not ideal. Yeah, it's never a good time, that type of stuff. But hit me up if you need anything or you need me to look at something. It's like the thing that we can do is just back each other up, you know? Joe Lan. Is it Lan or Lin? Because I'm seeing Joe Lan, like yogurt. It's more about I guess it's more about the pronunciation of Lan. Lan, like LAN party? So Joe Lan? Do you look at any portfolios? So I haven't done that in a while, but I would like to start doing that again. I'll probably do some signups here soon, and we'll start looking at some portfolios. When I do portfolio reviews, I actually allow you to sign up to be in the call, so we can actually have a discussion about it. Those are super fun. It's kind of like a micro podcast. They're like 30-minute podcasts. But yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with them on our YouTube channel. But I think right now they're dropping like one every 7 days or every 5 days. Ray, that sounds great, man. Oh, your J is like a Y, so it's like in Sweden. Yolan. Yolan. Pronounced like yo and lawn. Yolan. That helps me. Thank you very much. And thanks for being patient with me. Oh man. Okay. Let's look at some stuff here. Let me just close a thing. Okay, so as you guys might know, there is a community challenge going on for the rest of this month. The theme is more around the lines of like shrinking, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? So it's more about shrinking the world or shrinking you and putting you into the world. So like, yeah, ants bigger than cars, for example, that type of scale. Let me change the music for myself. And yeah, so Yolan was talking about the challenge and actually got some students to jump in for their challenge, or also or jump in for their school related stuff. They're how do you describe that? They're on a vacation right now, right? Like it's like a break in school. So I'm pretty impressed that some of them were able to post some stuff today for us to look at. So that's cool. So we'll look at that, and then I'll get into looking at the rest of my scene, which, where are we at here? This is this stuff, like we're looking at breaking this up. So we're trying to get some more light in the environment. Yolan, from now on, you're known as Yogurt. Smashing time. Yeah, so we've just been damaging some stuff. And we're doing this all in Blender as well, so it's kind of fun. But okay, let me move this over here. And we'll just kind of dive into some things. So this, now I'm realizing roller skates. We'll talk about it. I'll show you, because we're gonna get into the engine as well. Okay, so we'll just put me over here. Yes, so this one, I think you say the name is Natalie. Natalie, yeah. Showing current progress, working on replacing the plants by my own now, and trying to figure out a way to make the entrance of the pot less of a black void. So I don't mind it being a black void. Yeah, I don't mind it being a black void. I'm correct? Yes. I'll get some names correct tonight. Dude, Tobias with the 90 months. Bro, what the hell? That's so crazy. Every time you come in here, it's like, what? Thanks, man. We're going for 100. You know it. Thanks, dude. Thanks a lot. So open for any feedback or thoughts you have. Focus on the project's composition. So compositionally, pretty good. Everything is wanting me to look at this opening here, right? And I mean, compositionally, I feel like it's pretty solid. Maybe the shell here could be moved. Like, you've got some nice movement going on here. There's a little bit of clipping happening here. I like the bubbles. The bubbles are happening at a rate where I'm imagining that we should be able to see what's causing it, and it would maybe be disturbing the sand. So you would maybe need some particles of the sand kind of bubbling around here. It might be more worth scattering the bubbles and slowing them down a bit, so they're like in just smaller groupings. So you have a little bit over here kind of doing their thing there. I don't know how you're making those bubbles, but imagine if some of the bubbles were coming out from the shadows and then curling up over the edge and then going up. Could be pretty cool. The other thing you could think about is sculpting some, you would sculpt them to look like droplets of water, but then you would in the shader make it look like an air bubble that's like stuck to the surface of things, right? So, dude, I think I'm getting sick. This is not good. Maybe shifting the fish a little bit to the left so that it really feels like they're looking at this opening. I think we'll do a lot. And you're gonna want to get some, I don't know, I'm assuming you're looking at videos of fish and how they move. Even when they're sitting still, they're kind of like, there's a subtle movement to them. I can see you're doing some there. Maybe they just need to be detached from each other because they feel like they're moving as a group, whereas maybe them moving individually will help a lot. But yeah, I think the fish calling your eye to the opening here is strong composition. There is a cluster of like these, I'm just going to call it like water grass, just like seaweed stuff. This cluster feels like it's really kind of intruding into the space. So if you were to able to like push it just a little bit to the side, that would help a lot. Like just taking this group and just moving it a little bit more. Let me see if I can new from clipboard. So like right now it's kind of this shape. And you can see how much that kind of cuts into the space. Then you have this grouping here. So compositionally, you know, this is, if you bake it down to like its simplest form, this is kind of what we're looking at. So everything's pushing you to look this way, and the fish are helping with getting you to look here, and then the dark void is the next thing. So by taking this group, if you can move it maybe about that much, it'll just open it up a bit more compositionally to give you some room to breathe. And by doing this, that actually allows you to take these fish and move them to the side as well, just a little bit. That'll help it feel like they're not too close to the opening, but more focusing on it. The other thing is, maybe I was talking about the shell maybe like slowly moving along the pot. That could be pretty cool. And the only other thing I would say is the resolution of the pot is quite low. I know you're going in and texturing stuff still, but I would look at maybe finding a way to, so for it being this close, if you're trying to render it high res and it's not meant to be like game ready, then you could make this pretty high res, and honestly, it doesn't matter. If you're wanting to render it closer to like the approaches you would with games, I would probably make this its own material, and then the kind of stone that's under the paint its own material, and have a mask that chips these away. And then in the shader, you can use that mask to create the normal bump that you're seeing there to get that lift. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it's feeling pretty good. There's these like little rocks and stuff here. Let me see what else we got here with the. So we had some references of things. Yeah, so it's pretty clear. I know with the camera getting really close like that, it might be worth introducing more rocks, and the sandiness is used more to like give path, like a direction of path. Right now it's a sculpted the pot in ZBrush and baked it, went into Painter with it. So you can do that. I would say if you're not worried about the resolution and you're not trying to go real time or like game ready, this could be like 4K just to get that resolution. And even so, like this kind of extra detail that's happening here, I would see if you can get that as like a detail normal to tile. So that way you just get that much more fidelity out of it, right? Yeah. I think that's it for now. I mean, you still have, what do we got here? At least for the challenge, you've still got 4 weeks, or like 3.25 weeks. But yeah, you want the floor to feel like it was built, right? Like this is supposed to be a fish tank, right? When the camera gets this close, think about how the tanks are built up. I think you're doing it a little bit in here. You can see how when it gets close like this for the fish, the ground just turns into a lot of pebbles. Like, I think if you do that, it's going to become really busy. So I would be careful with that. But I think introducing more of it could help. The forbidden fruity pebbles. Yes. Yeah. One thing I really like is in the reference, it's a little low res, so I can't really tell, but all the variety that's happening at like the bottom floor here for this tank is really interesting. And I think if you can help us spatially understand the scene a bit more, That could help with like the readability, knowing how deep we actually are. I don't think it's very deep considering how bright this is. Yeah, some particles in the water could be good. But compositionally, I think you're looking pretty good. Maybe some little bit more geometry along the edge of this piece of wood, just so it feels less straight. I know I can see it's wobbling a little bit, but yeah, it's really cool. Maybe the bottle, so if I zoom out, you can see the bottle has a little lid here. Maybe the bottle could be doing the bubbles. You know how like in tanks they find ways to mask or hide where the bubbles are coming from? An algae pass could be pretty cool as well. Yeah. Could do that with a mask. Or just like painting it in with vertex color. Yeah, cool. Cool. Yolan is next. Adding an algae pass, nice. Yeah, that feels like something you could do at the near the end there. Should be pretty straightforward. All right. So this is next. Dude, look at the scale here. Uh-oh. What do you mean, uh-oh? What do you mean, uh-oh? So it's quite stylized. We got our spoiler image here too. This is pretty cool. I actually really like this overall scene. Maybe the backdrop is... I can't tell if it's low res or not, but it is blurry, which is, you know, it's the depth of field. You're focusing on the building. But yeah, looking at this, I think the things you're going to need here are the things that are going to help sell the scale. So the eggs are huge and the nest is huge, right? That in itself is pretty cool. It's very centered compositionally right now, so I think there's going to be a few angles you're going to want to play with. But let's copy this and we'll close this one. I always forget that's such a big hotkey. I don't know about that. So you're going to want to... oh, that's not going to work. Can we do maybe... yeah, there we go. So framing wise, like if we look at I'm going to just guess the center here. It's kind of the center. So this is like really centered up, right? So we're going to want to think about I should just get like an overlay I can do this with, but I'm just going to doodle and we'll just ride with it. You're going to want to try and compositionally rest it somewhere here or, you know, somewhere here, and just get the framing to kind of support what you want us to focus on, not being so like centered up. And then the next thing is going to be, because we're so close, you're really going to want to, man, I almost feel like you could take all of this and actually model it and place them on the wood. So that way you can actually curl the edges with geometry. I think that's totally acceptable, even for game. And so all these shadows, it's no longer a shader. It's more of like it's two materials and some geometry and some actual curling of the paint. I think that could go a long way. And then you can see, like, I know you're using like if I understand correctly, you're using maybe like a trim sheet or a tileable material. Once you're happy with where the materials are at, I would actually go in and model in some chips so that the shape language becomes a little bit higher fidelity. Yeah. And then it gets even better. Are you ready? Because this is part of the main project, I'm using my in-engine vertex paint peeling method. I mean, that's great. I think the thing is you can do that in combination with other ways of like emphasizing a detail, because now that you're close like this, it won't hold up detail wise. Like all of this, like this is quite detailed because of how close you are to it, right? And for these details up here to hold up, it's going to have to be more than just the vertex paint. You're going to have to model some, like add some flake maybe around here, like other smaller pieces that are just like a kit of modeled paint chips. You know, that'll go a long way and just all of a sudden give you more detail and depth, because those paint chips, like right now you need to figure out what to do with this top surface here. Like this curls like this, which starts to look a little low poly because your camera's so close. And then you have like the paint curling here, which is starts to look like an error because of how close you are. But you need to figure out what you want to do with this space, right? So it's going to be a combination of, I mean, at this scale, I would actually model some bird poop, like actual volume bird crap. Get that in there. And then from there, you start getting into like, okay, what builds up on these corner areas? And then like maybe the paint chipping here. Like you can have it chip upwards, you know, and then you can curl some of it. So if you were to imagine like some of the paint's curled away and this is showing some of the wood, and then discoloring of the wood here. So where the wood is exposed, you get like a gradient so that it really feels like it's connecting where like this piece meets this piece, you know? And then any other things you can think of, like some of these little pieces, some of those could have fallen and they're down here and they're like, they've collected up on the little crevices. Maybe one's like flipped up on the side here. It just further enhances the details and gives like a sense of, a real sense of the scale. Yeah, because like right now, this is the silhouette and it's got a little bit of wobble to it, right? That's good. But like modeling that in, just add some geo cuts, some extra geometry, and just kind of like work with the material that's there. And then you can even put some of the paint that's chipping off of it. You know, that type of stuff it's just gonna go further because of it. And then watch out for any of these like really straight lines as you go forward. Yeah, see, this feels like that would be, instead of being the material, it would be modeled and you'd just have like a tileable material. But yeah, I mean, it's looking really cool though. I'm just trying to think of like, how do you push the surfaces when you're this close? And how do you push the detail to further influence the scale that we're looking at? The backdrop here is very simple. I think this being even more blurred out is totally fine, because it'll even further enhance the sense of like the scale of this, right? To really get this super sharp, as it's not scaled up, you're scaled down. So when you get close like this, it's natural that all of this back here is going to get really blurry. Yeah, and then I was just about to drink some water, but I'm like, I'm in it. This is very strong. This is a really cool shot. And the colors are really nice. And I could see the material like looks really good from here. See, there should be dripping like bird poop and stuff all over this thing. Just on that corner. Didn't have that sentence on my bingo card today. Which sentence? What did I say? Bird crap? You're going to have to actually model that bird crap. Really cool, though. Really, really cool. Bird crap, 100%. Yeah, up to you, man. Up to you. Just in the context of the scene. Okay. The next one Dude, let's go. Let's freaking go. Okay, we're gonna zoom in on this too. Okay, so man, I wish the zoom was like independent per tab. I'm like zooming in and zooming out all the time. This one's from Lilo. I've been working on the lighting, water shader, and the particles. Last week I made the urchin and the anemone in SpeedTree. Oh, that's cool. The rocks are still Megascans. I'll start working on my own next week. I'm procrastinating, dude. I feel you. I feel you. I'd love some feedback on composition and colors. Also curious to know if the theme comes across well. The theme does come across well. So the idea is a tide pool, right? So what's really going to sell the tide pool is really deconstructing what makes a tide pool, right? So there are elements like you're talking about working on the anemone and the urchin. That's good. You're also talking about the water shader, which I think is important, and the lighting. You have a pretty good base to go off of. And I think what you should do is block out the shapes of every asset that you want to have in the environment. I'm sure anyone who comes to the stream often knows I always say that. Block out everything and just give it a color that you assume it would be. Because like we're looking in here and there's all these different colors and this like collection of and grouping of like different elements. And right now we don't have that, right? It feels very barren currently. I would block all those out, get like the color you're guessing they're going to be, and just start placing them everywhere so that you can then really start to see the composition even before you've started detailing those meshes. You're like, oh, we're going to have anemones here. You can see those anemones in the back are pretty blended into the environment. Here's one. Getting those placed everywhere that you think they're going to be and getting that variety and the colors where you want them to be will influence or help understand the composition much earlier before you even have to spend the time working on a prop that you might not end up using. It doesn't have to be realistic. Just go crazy. Yeah, definitely. Can anemones be orange and pink? I don't know, but add them. It also will help you, yes, what's being said in chat is it will help you cut down on the amount of props you're going to need. So with like the anemones, think about like their life cycles as well. Maybe you have like 2 or 3 big ones and then a bunch of little tiny ones around them. So there's like this, you can see the age and the cycle of life just in the way the props are being scaled and used. But generally, I mean, it's coming across as like a tide pool, right? I think if depending on if you're animating this or not, it would be interesting to have this start with the water not there. And then you see you get like you would do it in the video, in like video editing, like a splash and bubbles and stuff. And then everything's underwater. So you can get like the look before and after. So you could take like some of the anemones, for example, and have them really relaxed versions of them. And then switch to the other scene. And then in post, just blend between those two environments with like a nice like bubble transition where the water comes in. Because tide pools are going to go in and out, right? But yeah, looking at the variety of colors and how the surfaces look is going to be everything. I mean, again, these are kind of low res. The other thing, maybe the last thing I would say is right now it's hard to tell. It's not hard to tell. It feels like the focal point is this rock, and because of that, this crab. Now, if this crab is the focal point, I feel like the crab should maybe be a little lower to the camera, or the camera should be a little higher and looking down on the crab, because right now you're getting such a front view of it. So you don't actually get to appreciate the crab itself and like the platform that it's standing on. So I might play around with the camera a little bit, try going up a little higher or lower, and like maybe the crab's looming over, and roar. Slimy surfaces are quite difficult when it's all underwater. But I think if you have like the freshly wet version where the water has just like come back and everything is all just wet and glossy, you can get some sliminess from the anemones. But yeah, I don't mean to make the scene bloat either, so don't worry too much about it if you don't want to do the water happening. What I would do is maybe take the top of the water if you wanted to do the cheaper route, but still give it some oomph. Is the top of the water, get it moving, and then get it to go down or up, so you can really feel the tide coming in and filling, and then lowering and getting particles that kind of follow the flow of the movement of water could be really nice. And then it's just about the micro details that are now closer to you, so they're much larger. Yeah. I think for the rocks for the tide pool, you might be able to get away with making a tileable, kind of noisy rock surface, and then displace that over like blobby volumes, and you'll get a much more like, I don't know if it'd be too noisy, but you would get a much more like crunchy, this look here, this kind of crunchier surface. I would experiment with just like one rock, like maybe this one, and then figure out how you like populate the surface. Because there should be like, I don't know, let's say you make 10 props. I would put like 30 props here, or even 40, just like scattering it, because it's so like, tide pools are exciting because they're so rich of life. Like there's so much stuff going on. And then it's just a balance of like tweaking the colors and whatnot. Are you doing this in Unreal? Yeah, it's Unreal. Okay. Do you know about custom data in Unreal? Yes? Okay. I would use that heavily, because you can use that anemone and then like plug in that different colors and use the same mesh and the same material, and you're just shifting the values. It'll get you a much more unique, organic feel, and you'll be able to move faster on like feeling unique content. Yeah, the custom primitive data is what I'm referring to. But yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to like the detail pass. I feel like you just need to block out the rest of the props that you think you're going to need, and then you have your scope in your mind from that. Get those dished out in the environment and populated, general colors figured out, and then your composition can get locked in. Think about the framing of the crab, and then just like do that detail pass, basically. Is there a dead diver in there? Dude, what? Freaking me out, bro. Custom primitive data. Yeah, I was actually gonna show it really fast. Because it's really easy to set up. I'm just gonna open a project real quick here. Environmental storytelling, dude, it's everything. Everything. Are you gonna get any starfish in here? That's another one I would think of. Come on, Unreal, I believe in you. you can load. So I can show you a really simple custom primitive data setup. And then you can then take that knowledge and just expand on it really quickly, or really easily rather. Crab fight? Dude, crab battle. Crab battle. Crab battle. Okay. Oh my god. Where are we at here? Okay, so you can see these ones. These are all like different looking, and these are all just using gradients. Let's go to landscape here. PBR. Cool. So you can see these ones. These are all using the same material, which I just call a blockout material. The base color is a custom primitive data input. So what you can do is you can press 3 or 1 or whatnot, convert it to a parameter, and just say like, sure, this is the color. And then you can tell it use custom primitive data. And then you can see that each one of these will be an index 0, 1, 2, 3. And I don't think this is coming through. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Or sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it is all of these, red, green, blue, alpha. And you can dictate like where the index starts. So if you want it to start at 1, then you'll see it updates. So I have this color set up at 0, 1, 2, 3 in the index. And then I have metallic set up on 4 and then roughness on 5. So what that means is then, let me move myself here. You can look at custom and you can find primitive data. And when you hit that plus, you'll actually see the inputs. And so that means I can actually say this one's going to be metal and the color is going to be like this, and then the roughness is going to be like full reflective or maybe like quite diffused. And the cool thing is all these are using the same material. I don't have to make material instances for each one of these. It's a really good blockout tool. So knowing that you can make a custom primitive data out of any of these, like this can be a custom primitive data as well. So I can drive and power a bunch of stuff. So you can do all types of things with it. But yeah, cool. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. So the next one is, that is crazy. This is cool. So Monica, yo. You guys all have cool names. What's going on here? They're like spelled differently, but they're cool. Actually, I say that, but now I'm thinking, do we spell Monica like that in the States? I think we spell it with a C and not a K. It's a requirement for applying to BUAS. Awesome. You have to have a cool name. This is dope. I already love this. And the style, like even though it's like in this blockout form, the style of the people, I kind of would like for it to just stay that way. So you're feeling far behind in what you're saying here. So I'm far behind with the project because I joined later on it, but I already got some references and my base blocked out. This is a very strong blockout. I think probably the hardest part is going to be this entrance. No, that'll be second. So the hardest thing is probably going to be this entrance being second, but the floor here and rationalizing what it is going to be the harder part. This is dope though. This is really cool. And I think when it comes to that scale, oh yeah, this is awesome. When it comes to that scale, think about the elements you can add to really emphasize the scale. Not just the trees, but maybe like mushrooms and like these larger shapes that can bring a bit of a fantasy, naturey vibe. So it's still kind of grounded, but oh, whoops! I just clicked another program. No, I'll worry about it later. It's like programs starting up in the background like crazy. Let's see here. From clipboard. So like, you know those giant mushrooms that kind of like connect. Like you can do some cool stuff with those. Just like go take the shapes we're familiar with, and then when you blow them up, it becomes so much more like, whoa, the scale is crazy. You know, and think about, yeah, dude, whenever you can add mushrooms, gotta add mushrooms. Like, why not? Like, compositionally, you've got this going on. Normally, think about the flow of this, and right now it's really curvy. Make sure that it feels like it's going into the ground. And then you can do stuff like, you know, you can do mushroom stuff here. I don't know what I'm drawing, but like that type of stuff. You can do large scale moss where the moss is almost more like a fluffy grass. You can do some really cool stuff. I see this turning into something really cool. For sure, there's going to be some scope stuff going on. So feel free to take these trees. Like this is what, let's say this is 1, 2, 3. Maybe just take those 3 trees and then reuse the hell out of them in the background. And then you can use fog to really get like the depth in there, right? So it really feels like you're deep in a forest. Yeah, if you need to de-scope, if you need to scope down, maybe remove the frame and make one of those mushrooms the roof of the. Yeah, I mean you could do. Let me something like this. Totally. I was thinking about making 2 trees, one with the root and the other one is just different detail. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's a way of doing it. The reason I highlighted these 2 is because the diameter is so different between these. And it could be nice to get the diameter difference. Because if you just have these 2, you might start to notice, well, no, you could take this one and just push it into the ground more and then you're fine. And don't hesitate to make the ground in the back go up and down, so you get this variation and you know, and different stuff parallaxing behind things. You get some pretty quick wins without having to like really go too crazy. I mean, I can't draw with my mouse, man. But yeah, you're gonna have to think about like how this is gonna work. Maybe the center here is like a tree that was cut down, and it's like you know, it's got steps that go down. So then the center could be higher, and then around it could be lower. So you're thinking about it in like formation, because it feels like a little like park area that you would visit. But yeah, anything to break these trees up so they're not so just straight lined is going to be really good, I think. Big sandy path to the trees and everything else would be grassy. Oh yeah, totally. You could do that for sure. Yeah, just think about like what the focal point is. Like it feels like this is the focus. So you're gonna want like this. Can I even? There we go. You're gonna want this to like compositionally support what you're building, right? So maybe this path leads towards this thing, and then this goes around, and then there's some other walkways that are more natural, and then maybe they have steps that go up to this like lifted, chopped down tree or something. I don't know, just some ideas. And think about like some like larger rocks that you can use to just create like focal points. Maybe they fence around them. or something. I know there's a lot of stuff you could do. It's just trying to think about what you could do with a. I would maybe look at some parks top down in like Google Maps and just see how they're laying out park like pathways, and that might help you translate this to something relatable but still like really your own. But yeah, this is, I can feel it. This is gonna be cool. Probably make this higher, and then people can actually go under it. And there's like a little pathway that organically meets up with the rest of the paths. Park designer sounds like a pretty good gig. Kind of does, doesn't it? There's an industry for that. And imagine having the ability to rapidly create that type of content for previs so that people can go, that's how I want the park to look. You can get those types of sign-offs, you know? It's exciting. We're not just limited to games. We have the ability to create all types of things. Ahoy, what's up, Raggedy? But yeah, thank you for sharing. Monica, did you have any other questions that maybe I wasn't, that I maybe didn't hit on? Whoa, an ad for a 3D artist for theme parks? Dude, that's so cool. You just want to show what you have? All right, cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Especially with you guys being on break now. I get that they can be a bit difficult to hop on and share stuff and be in it when you just need a break. So I get it. Cool. Really cool stuff. Okay, where are we at here? I am now going to change gears. We're at 8:52, so it took a little under an hour. Look at this glass. It's so cool. Maddie likes to pick up glasses that are really unique. There's like little air bubbles inside of the. Yeah, next Thursday we'll do Discord critiques. Discord critiques. Okay, let me get my other project open. We're probably gonna get this into the engine pretty quickly here. I think it's really important to like not worry about the, like I've gone further and further away. Have expected it to be a uranium mug. Oh, dude, who knows, man? Maybe I should test it for radioactivity. It's really important to get your work in your environment as quickly as possible to know that you're heading in the right direction. Because like, so if I look at this, imagine I take this and I make the low polys and I sit there and I freaking go, okay, I need to make the low polys. Now I need to unwrap them, bake them. And then I find out that the shape doesn't even work. It's like, what are you doing? It's not the right color for radioactivity. Oh, thank God. That's good. What are you doing? Where are we at here? So if we bring this up here. So we're trying to, oh my God, it's so dark. We're trying to open up one of these walls. And I mean, looking at that, it kind of feels like we need to open it up even more. That's not scary at all. So what I'll do is we have this piece is modular, right? So we're reusing it over and over. We've got the pivot there because it needs to line up with this. But if we hide everything, let's go to color, and then we'll just like, I'm gonna export this pretty quickly here. I think it's going to be too high poly. So we are going to have to decimate some stuff down real quickly. Let me see where we're at here, though. Okay, so we have the broken version, which is all grouped up here. All right, I have this top piece for reference. We can delete that now. Cool. I'm going to go in now. I'm going to select one of these. Well, all of these ones are sculpted, right? So it's these ones and this one. I want to see if this is open enough to be worth the damage, or if I need to go further down and really like break it open. So let's get a modifier on here. So we're gonna go generate and decimate. We're just gonna do like 0.1. And then if we go wireframe, we can see what that looks like. Okay, let's do 0.05. Sure, man, there's some weird stuff going on there. Okay, I'm gonna select these, and then this one last, and then do Shift. Is it Shift K? No, Shift L. There we go. Link. No, what is it? It is Control L. There it is, Control L, and then we're gonna link. We're gonna copy modifiers. Give it a second here. There we go. Okay, so these are all lower. Lower. And then we've got this top piece here. Let's just make sure that everything is set up for exporting. Export recursive. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. I'm going to select this top one. And the pivot is on the side like it should be. And then I'm just going to, I think this is going to work. I'm going to export this. Please. Please. I don't know if it's collapsing these either, so we're going to have to see. It might just explode. Let's see what happens. Work lights, huh? That's pretty good. So Blender sculpting, what did you find so far? That they have trim smooth border in there. And now I can just do what I do in ZBrush. Okay, it exported one. If we go here, if I hit import, yes. I wonder where it's importing it to. I said broken, right? Yeah, broken. Let's just copy that name. We'll paste it here. Okay, it's saying it's there. Let's see what this thing looks like. Something is not right. Yeah, nope. Okay, well that didn't work. I'm like, why didn't that work? What the hell? Actually, hang on. I'm just gonna go way out here. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna open this and just see what's in here. Is it like ultra small or ultra big? No. No idea. Yeah, you only use like 2 brushes with ZBrush, which is rad because that means it's even more replaceable. Trim smooth border? Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay, so I'm not sure why this is failing to export. This is its group. We can turn that off. That's fine. Object. Export recursive. Is it? Do I really need to? No, that shouldn't be. So these are all parented inside of it, which is good. Wait, are they? Wait, what? Hang on. Scared. No. No, this doesn't look right. Oh, there's animation info in here too? What the hell? Yeah, so we have broken, and that has 11 meshes in it, which is fine. If I export this, I can tell it's grabbing everything because of the chug. Which data it contains. What do you mean? Maybe we're so far in the process that it's all coming together now. These wireframes look more satisfying than usual. Yeah, the little wiggly arrow. Yeah, that tells you there's animation in there, which is hilarious. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. So import. Some assets will need to be re-imported manually. Interesting. So it is coming in, but it's coming in really slowly, which tells me that it's not taking into account the modifiers, which is a little sketch city. Oh, that's an interesting approach. Yeah, just open it up in like FBX viewer and just see if there's something in it. Yeah, do you see it just said imported? I think it imported all the pieces. I don't think it merged them together. What's the, so this is called Circle B26. Circle B. Yeah, see all these? There they are. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, I'm just gonna delete those. 22, 23, 24. 22 to 32. All Circle B. 45 broken. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to go to the folder these are all getting saved into. And in that folder, if we look here, we're looking for the most recent one. 45 broken. There's the FBX for it. So we're just going to delete that. And then we'll go and re-export this. Just make sure I'm, yeah. We're going to export this again. It's going to generate the FBX. And then from there, so we hit import. What? Oh, I see. These are... We're not getting the import prompt, though. Oh, this is still exporting. So once it comes in, we need to tell it to combine them. Because I think it's telling it to import it all separately. So if I click this, do I get like a... Yeah, there we go. Combine static meshes. We'll click that. And then hit import. Oh, no, it's trying to... Man, I hate this thing. Wall F. No. No. Uh, 45. Yeah, so there's just that one. So I was trying to... I wonder if I can just rename it. It's trying to import... Nice. Creating new... It's trying to import and replace things now, which is a bit annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to this. We're gonna go in here and give me. Okay, I'm gonna just drag this in here. No? Why not? Why? Oh, come on, bro. So this is the broken one. Dude, why won't you let me import it? I'm gonna delete that. We're doing it again. This is Let's bring it in again. So when I import this now, I'm gonna just make sure that all the stuff is cleared. Send to Yui, my beloved. Yeah, it'll take a bit for me to want to go away from this one because I'm quite comfortable with this one. But maybe the errors that I'm running into right now are solved because the other... Like, it's... Unreal thinks I'm trying to replace stuff, which is kind of weird. I don't know what that's about. Okay, back to here. We're going to click import. That's so weird it's importing those. So materials came through. The broken did not. Which is like, why not? And I can't drag it in either. What? What? Why? I'm also going to make sure... Man, this is weirdly annoying. Just gonna do this. Just gonna wipe all the materials off of it because they keep interfering with... Are you working with version control? No. I'm just backing up files. The next thing I might work with version control. Although that can get a bit annoying. Okay, let me just double check this. Nice. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna change it from broken to damaged. Just so it's different. Okay, so now this should be exporting without any materials either. Yeah, the wireframes, I don't know, they just look nice. I like the wireframe render in Blender. The fact that I'm like decimating these things down and then exporting them is pretty rough. That's probably what's causing the most pain. It changed the source file has been detected. Okay. Yes, got the prompt. That's good. Let's reset the selected pipeline, and then let's make sure that we're import materials. We don't need that. Dude, I always lose track of like where the combine is. Convert, build, combine static meshes. There we go. Okay, let's see if this works. Please, Lord. Oh, snap. Okay. Now we can go down here. But where? Maybe this one? We'll just do that. Nice. Okay, and then we have this mesh thing. So we're just going to go, what is that? Shift 5? Yeah. And then model. Poly edit. Loop. Insert edge loop. Done. Okay. And then where's the... I mean, I guess we could just grab all of this, no? And just delete it. I want to see push and pull. Can I do that? That'd be nice. Okay, so I'll just go to this top piece. We'll do a push and pull, and I'll just push it down. Nice. Push down. There we go. Accept. What is this thing? I'm like, what is this thing? Man, how annoying. So why these are here is to block light coming through. Thing is we need to make sure it's kind of short over here. Okay. There we go. That's doing quite a bit. And then if we get the sun through. See, the thing we want to watch out for is you can see how tall this is. We probably need to just bring this down. Maybe even like scoot this forward. Like that. You want to make sure this is also low. Bring this over here. You can see we're getting light through back here now. Like, where is it coming from? It's like this can still be here. It just needs to be much shorter. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, and the reason this is tall is to just so this round piece, it doesn't get much light leaking. Cool. I can see how this is going to work, though. I think it's working. I like the idea of this kind of scooping back further. Another rousing round of Hunt the Lightbleed. Yeah, this is starting to work quite well, though. I think this needs to be further away. Maybe here. Do you want, you know. But that light is coming through is pretty nice. And then if you get really high up, you get the light coming from the... So you get two light sources. It's much brighter in here, as you can see. And I mean, if we really wanted to, we could just replace this one too and put a hole here. Oh, it's like right there. Maybe here. I'll see if we put another opening in there. But you can see how this is coming through. I wonder. Yeah, it is coming through as the like decimated version. Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay. I think I want to scoop this back further here, or maybe on this side, and then maybe scoop this down. Okay, let's like what I mean is taking this one. Let's turn the bevels off on that. Taking this. Maybe like that. And then this one. Let's go edges. Like, what am I doing here? Grab all this. Why is that like that? Weird. Okay. Oh, right. We need a... You guys are always asking about keys. So we'll just make sure this is here in the corner. Cool. Let's grab all these edges. There we go. Let's see what we're looking at here. No. There we go. Let's maybe subdivide this, bring this up here, and then we can faces, faces. Like, come on. Come on. What's going on here? Auto smooth, weighted, keep sharp. Auto smooth lower. There we go. Might be too far down. And we'll damage these up so that there's some variation here. So like maybe this will come out like this. Maybe this does that. Oop. Whoopsies. Get the bevel and the weights there. Let's see. Oh my god. The trauma. Cool. Okay, let's re-export that and just check the lighting coming through. Desert, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, we're tweaking the opening of this so we can get some more light in. Should definitely be more light once this opens up. I think it's going to be here and over here because I rotated and flipped it. Come on. Come on. Export. Export. How you doing, by the way, Desert? Welcome. I'm just kind of like all over the place right now. Let me know if you guys have any questions or you want to kind of dive into some things. I might not unwrap these or like bake them. I'll unwrap them, but I might not bake them because the geometry might be high enough. And for the distance they're at, it's just like whatever. It's fine. Live dangerously. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm like, wait, why isn't it updating over the top? Oh, it is. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's a much bigger opening. Nice. We can just grab this material and just put it on this one. Nailed it. Oh, jeez. Okay. You know what's really interesting is about where this collapses explains why these are all kind of falling down. Which means we should do it to this one. Nice. Oh, there's another gap there too. Is that the same mesh? It's just duped over? It is. Oh my god, that's funny. Okay. Maybe I can just poly edit. Grab this one. Just push it over this way. Open that up. Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, there's a. Oh, I see. Do that. Accept. And then we'll go back to this. It's funny. I feel like I need to make a cylinder or something for this. You know? Okay. Kind of working. This needs to open up too. There we go. Nice. Okay, so even at this angle, yeah, getting some light in. Oh, nice. It can work. It can work. Yeah, that's funny, Polysocks. I think it kind of touches on this topic that no one really recognizes until they're in games. I think it's being talked about more and more, but the expectations of what you can achieve in your portfolio shows that, like, if you need to, this is the quality you can hit, but that's very rarely asked of you in production, especially being in a junior or entry level position and then working your way up. You're not expected to be like punching at that line, you know what I mean? It just shows that you're able to. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, why we look at portfolios being at at this crazy quality. And I go back and forth on it because, like, that crazy quality shows me that you have an eye for the things that are in your portfolio. And then from there, it's just about really pushing that quality through your work without having you have to do everything. So basically, once you get into game dev, it's not nearly as crazy as when you're working on your portfolio. Usually, anyways. Depends where you're going as well, I would assume. Okay. So this is, I mean, this is working pretty well. I don't know what to do about these shapes because it's all like its own mesh, right? I think if I want to do it like this, I need to like split some pieces off or something. Just so that like I can rationalize how these are put together. Because sculpting these like this is going to be weird. So let me just see if I can get rid of that. Let's just flat. Yeah, I think I think that can work. Maybe we can bring this out like this. So this is on top. Nice. Let's split that off. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing is I'm basically just trying to rationalize how these are put together. So it'd be like blocks that have their own, right? Like if I turn the bevel on these, you can understand a bit more about how they're put together because they're separated. Yeah. That's not working. Oh, I know why. Nice. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so these will be all chipped away and damaged and whatnot. I guess this one probably needs to also split somewhere around here. Oh no. What is happening here? Right. Wow. Dude, how did I do this again? What? There we go. You're good, busy with your own project or creating a game, part of a game to put in my portfolio. Oh, cool. How are you doing? How's stream going so far? Stream's really good. I'm having fun. I enjoyed streaming for you guys. And it's just like it gives me an opportunity to sit here and like just practice my craft, you know? Cuz like at the end of the day, the reality is I no longer am directly working on content. I'm more like facilitating the direction and all of that stuff from the art side. And so because of that, I I now have more time and energy to be putting towards working on my own art. But if I don't do that, dude, it's all gonna like atrophy. I'm just gonna like slowly forget how to do all this stuff. And I don't want to lose that. Do you do drawing for work or more verbal feedback? It's a lot of drawing, like red pens and sketching and stuff. Some like very, very light concepting. Yeah, more leadership role. Yeah, I was a lead for like 5 years, and I guess technically tomorrow is when I become an associate art director. But yeah, it's uh, it's fun. It's always like new challenges, you know. Thanks, Kat. Okay, where am I at here? I need to take like this situation. Like, what am I doing here? What is this? How am I gonna do this? Let me think here. I think I have to go the same route. Yeah. Oh, nice. These aren't even straight. That's cool. Nice. Um, split that off. Oh, wait a minute. B by selection. There we go. Man, you can see how this is getting crazy. Right. Ooh, I like the idea of this, like, maybe I'll just go this way. It's fine. It's fine. Nice. Okay. Our boys growing up, dude. When I started streaming, I was a senior. It was crazy, man. Do you have any tips about your path to art director? You're a senior now? Oh, okay. Man, that's a good question. Um, so I think understanding the reasonings and the big picture from what your art director is doing is a good, like, if you can process that and make sense of it and understand why it's happening, you start understanding more of like the big picture. And oops, other one. There we go. The big picture is everything. And so for me, it's all about consistency and like connecting everything together for just like the logic of stuff. Because the more things feel logical in how they're interconnected, the more you'll accept it and just kind of keep experiencing what you're experiencing. Um, Being able to extrapolate all of the big picture ideas into a document that you can send to people, and then they can look at that and understand what you're saying and be able to influence their work to head that direction causes more and more people in the team to operate similarly while still being able to express their own artistic choices and whatnot, right? But yeah, it's it's not necessarily straightforward, but just try and understand the frameworks that your art director is doing and why they're doing it. I, I don't know if that helps because I don't know if there's really an answer. Dude, communication is freaking everything, and the more and more you go up this chain of like roles, like the more you become senior, the more communication will play. And if you can't learn to communicate in a way that you can get people that don't like you to work with you, if you can't get that solved, it's going to be a problem. And you'll keep running into a wall with it until you solve it, or it solves you in a sense. And that's a pretty extreme case where it solves you. I don't think I've seen that yet. I've seen people battle with it, and you give them advice and just borrow DefCon's whip. I think the best advice I can give when it comes to working with people is we all will have hard times doing whatever we're doing, whether it's in development of games or working together with other people on other things. It doesn't have to be games, right? And being able to work with others in a way where when the stress is high, you can lean on each other and feel safe and protected by each other, like you've got each other's backs. That's like the perfect environment. And the more that goes outside of your team and into the other teams, and it feels like every team has each other's back, dude, you're gonna make some amazing content, right? The best advice I could give is when someone is having a hard time or they're not happy with what they're doing, they're tired, the struggle is there, it's real, and they're confiding in you to tell you about their struggle, like they're venting to you. Ask them if they want feedback or if they want advice, because like if they want advice, they'll tell you, like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this thing. If you ask them that and they don't want to, it's like respecting the boundaries of like them venting to you versus them asking for help. Sometimes they just want to vent. This even goes into like personal relationships. Do you want me to listen or do you want a solution? Dude, 100%. 100%. Sometimes they just want to vent and they just want you to be there to listen. And that's okay. You don't have to solve everything. And it gets really hard in games because, dude, we want to solve everything all the time. That's all we do. Problem solving, creative problem solving. It's like, how do you turn that off? Because you can't always do that. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. This looks whack. What's going on here? Okay, we're turning off the decimation. That looks great. Look at all that polys. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna just fix this really fast. Okay, it's 940. We're gonna sculpt some. So I made a brush. So we got the trim brush just off screen here. Let me see if I can do this. So we have the trim brush here. This is the new brush that they added that I'm like, yo, game changer. And all I did was add this alpha to it. And then I changed the spacing to like 3%. And now I have the trim smooth border brush, which is pretty nice. Just need to, and then you have like if you press R, you can increase the resolution, and then Control R to subdivide it again, or Dynamesh it rather. We'll see if we can clean that up. So the weird thing is you can see these errors. I don't know what is causing those, but when I Dynamesh again, I get these little dots. I'm not sure what causes that. So it's best to just like commit to the resolution as soon as possible. And then don't worry about it anymore. Add a smooth corrective. What is a smooth corrective? Sometimes I just want to complain about Unreal crashing, even though I know it's because of my my doings. It's a modifier. Really? Okay, so we got these dots here. Smooth corrective. I'm scared. And check only smooth. Ooh. It does soften a lot of this stuff, but I guess... Is it the factor? Yeah, it is. Pin boundaries. Interesting. I mean... That's pretty cool. Interesting. I don't want to lose the sculpt stuff, but I mean, I think if we were in a spot where we needed to. That's nice. I didn't know that modifier existed. Dude, this is the value, man. This is the freaking value. It's like a Michael Jackson song. This is the value of fresh minds. Like you're talking about trying to get a junior position. Dude, I didn't even know smooth corrective existed. Like you bring the knowledge, you know? New things. That stuff's exciting to me. Sorry, I get all hyped and stuff. Yeah, you could weight paint that for sure. Because, yeah, I saw in the modifier you could... So you could go here, and then you could vertex group it. So you could vertex group which ones are... Youngblood's the best, dude. That's true. Okay, let's get in here. Let's save this. Let's do some damage. Okay, so we don't want the smoothing. We don't need the weight. We're just gonna make it flat. And need to do the bevel. The reason we're doing the bevel is so that we get some some softer edges. Okay. Accept a Rooney and damage time. So I'm going to press R, which gives me this nice little visual so I can see the resolution I'm going to divide at, and then Control R. And then you can do that. I probably need to go lower. Oh yeah, give me that res. Let's go. So this, you see the things I'm smoothing right now? I wonder if smooth. What am I doing? There we go. Smooth corrective. Only smooth. Look at that. Kind of does what I was trying to do with the sculpting. Repeat 10 times. And then just accept that. Now we've got this softened out in like a quite a uniformed way. Nice. Get you the old modifier panel. I mean, I like this one, but it is what it is. For some people, they want the list, you know? And I guess the downside of this type of modifier view is I don't know about some of these other ones, right? And then they get lost in there. So the idea is this broke off on this whole side, so this whole side needs to be damaged. And I'm just using my mouse because I'm lazy. Nice. Nice. Can we get like a different material here, maybe? Yeah, that one's cool. Okay, next. So maybe we can carry this that damage across this. I have so many of these meshes to add cracks and damages. I export them in all free version of Houdini. I added an edge damage node. Adjust parameters, estimate UV to Houdini done. It's scary powerful. Oh yeah, dude, that kind of automation's really powerful. I just like, you know, for me, we have all these dope automation processes. And you know, you can do some pretty cool stuff at work with the support of others. And I get home and I'm like, I just want to do it manually. The moment you can't get a Houdini license, or the moment you can't, you have to cut corners and you have to do things manually, is the moment I go, don't worry, I got you. Oh man, dude, there's so much lost inside of this thing. No. Oh my God, hang on here. I'm going in. I didn't go too bad. Oh, never mind. No, it looks all right. No, it worked fine. Yeah, there's like a bunch of different ways we could have approached that though, for sure. I'm listening to Pink Pony Club. Good stuff. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is actually just gonna dupe this. Geometry. Hacks. No one will know. No one will know. I might sculpt this one a little bit more anyways. It's 9:52. Man, time is freaking flying. See, this might be able to stay pretty simple. Per instance random might be the most powerful node I've ever used. Use it way too much. Per instance random. In Houdini or in what? Oh, the Unreal node. What are you using it for? In specifically? Oh, what am I doing? You don't need to see that side. Yeah, cool. Offset UVs across an atlas for books recently. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a really good use of it. Lerp between 6 colors that getting driven by the size of the object. Ooh, size of the object too. Man, I need to play with that stuff more. Uh-oh. Did I go too high res? Oh, it's because the bevel is on here and the smooth. Let me backtrack a bit here. Object size clever. That's pretty cool. why am I sculpting this now? I can now do the smooth corrective. Just to soften the bevels a bit. It's very similar to how ZBrush softens Geo. Oh, nice. Pi 2. How you doing, Muck? Good to see you. Remesh and smooth modifier, more non-destructive. Makes sense. Oh, nice. I just noticed this. Okay, so that hides behind there. I probably need to actually split this. Mainly because I would probably need to damage this edge a bit. Yeah, so like from this view, right? We're going to be inside. If you can look up there, it would be cool if this shape actually cut in quite a bit. Something like that. Undo this a bit here. Yeah, there you go. Whoops. I can't believe that Blender's even running smoothly right now. Like, what the heck? How is the experience so smooth? So one thing I'm failing at is see how straight these are? A little sad. That's a little sad. Should just go broader. There you go. You see how much more dynamic that shape is? Whoops. Dude, that poly count is crazy. Cool. What GPU am I rocking? A 4080? 4080? All right, it is. Yeah, if I use multi-res. Yeah, because then I can sub D and then call it good. Trusty pony. Dude, solid stuff though. For anyone who doesn't know, Jay Lee is in our Discord. The username is different from the. It's Jake. 3070 Ti hates Unreal so much. Yes, it does. Okay. I should get out of here, guys. I think I feel a headache coming on. Man, I hope I'm not getting sick. I don't want to get sick. Hello, I am Jake. Okay. I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna rock it out of here and probably directly into bed. Take some vitamin C. Yeah, it's a good idea. I will do that. I'm gonna. That's identity theft, dude. You want to know something wild? Come to Sweden, man. You can just Google anyone's name and you can find out their address and their phone number and how much money they make if you pay a little bit. It's it's crazy over here. Nah, it's pretty chill. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you as well for posting the challenge work. And oh my gosh, Tobias, you're chilling in here. Nice, man. Tobias, you should link your game in chat. Link it. Link it. You'll promise you'll be earlier next time? Dude, don't worry about it, man. Desert, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. To the moon. We released a game. Let's go. Good job, man. Congratulations. Legend of the Five Rings. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend if I don't see you. Peace.